The first time they met their owner, they were as happy as if they had won the lottery. They were jumping around, running back and forth like they were competing in a 100 meters obstacle course. Their tails were wagging, their eyes were sparkling like, "Hey, have I been adopted?" And then, they couldn't stop. They were like they were released from their old prison. Just like that, they were running back and forth. Nonstop, the new owner must have thought, "I'm taking these two in. But it's a bit of a challenge. No need to ask for names. No need to introduce. Just seeing each other. They rush in and make a mess. They have to try everything. They have to play everything. A roundabout chase. Jumping up and down like little ninjas. Tails wagging like fans. Legs running as fast as the wind. Every time they meet, they turn back, and keep going like that without getting tired. Whoever stops is a loser. They play so much that the whole yard seems to be about to break apart. Not knowing where to stop. They just keep playing, not caring about anything else. Just having each other is fun. This scene will definitely make the new owner wonder, is my house their giant playground? They were hungry but still wouldn't stop making a fuss. They waited for the food to come, but they ran back and forth as if nothing had happened. Even though their stomachs were growling, they still thought, "Let's play. We'll eat later." As soon as they finished eating, the house destruction program began. From slippers, brooms, to furniture, nothing could escape their creativity. The new owner must be thinking, did I accidentally raise two troublemakers? One used a broom as a fishing rod, and the other one broke the table and chairs right after eating. The whole house seemed to have turned into a playground with all kinds of furniture, new and old. No one would spare anything. After destroying an item, they looked at each other like, shall we destroy this one again? And then, no one bothered to look back at the pile of things lying around. They seemed to be creating a masterpiece of art, except that the object of art was their house. After a few minutes of running around, the house began to look not like a house anymore. A slipper was missing without a trace. The carpet was lying diagonally in a corner as if it had been swept away by a storm. The owner looked around and sighed. After making a mess of the house, the battery finally ran out. One guy rolled over and fell asleep like a cotton ball, while the other guy lay next to him, eyes half closed, saying, "I'm not tired, but can I breathe a little?" A little nap recharged the batteries, and the two of them continued to fight. As soon as they opened their eyes, it was as if there was a signal. Okay, let's continue destroying. One of them jumped onto the chair. The other pulled his pillow to the floor. Less than 10 seconds after waking up, the house was as bustling as a Tet fair. They were so wild that they never got tired. Jumping, running, biting each other. How could they not get tired? But they still played like there was no tomorrow. After going around the house, the two of them played all kinds of new games, biting each other's tails, chasing from the living room to the kitchen and back. Every time there was a strange noise, they were startled. Then, more excited, one man had just discovered that the blanket was a new toy. So he dragged it around like a superhero with a cape. The other man was so excited that he used his slippers as a pillow. Lying down and biting. Very philosophical. Sometimes, we joked so much that we bumped into the door. Startled, both of us froze for a second, then burst out laughing in silence, in the dog way. The atmosphere at that time was like, no one saw anything. Let's just not say anything. Then we chased each other around like playing hide and seek without rules. One hid behind the chair. The other watched from afar. Then suddenly rushed out like a furry ninja version. Sometimes, while running, we slipped, spun around and lay down for a moment. But less than 2 seconds later, we jumped up as if nothing had happened. Played until saliva flew everywhere. Ears stood up, tongue hung out, eyes sparkled. But the expression was still very confident. I'm still very healthy. In the afternoon, the owner happily took the two children to the field. The owner thought, going to work in the garden. I have an assistant. But in reality, it was such a beautiful dream. As soon as they stepped onto the land, the two children turned on the outdoor mood, jumping like bewildered deer. Instead of staying close to the owner's feet, the two children spread out in each direction. One explored the bushes. The other eagerly rolled around in the grass. Sometimes when the owner called, "Come here," both of them looked at each other, then turned away as if they didn't understand human language. A while later, they were excitedly playing tag through the vegetable bed. So much dirt was flying everywhere. The young plants were tilted. Looking at them made me sigh. One of them even tried to bite the owner's hoe, probably thinking it was a metal toy. Then when the owner sat down to rest, I thought they were tired. But unexpectedly they ran over, took the owner's hat and ran around. The owner chased after them to get the hat back, and they thought they were playing a new game, so they were even more excited. Finally, after nearly 7 minutes of making trouble in the middle of nature, the 2 dogs finally lay down to breathe, looking at the blue sky as if contemplating their lives. Not stopping there, after resting for a bit, the 2 men woke up like larks. Seeing the basket of vegetables left by the owner nearby, one immediately jumped in and lay down as if they were having a picnic. The other gently pulled up a branch of sweet potatoes, probably intending to help the owner harvest them. And after harvesting, he didn't forget to run away and hide them as if they were his own treasure. There were times when the 2 chased each other around the banana bushes, as if they were filming a high-speed action scene. Every time the owner came closer, one of them ran behind, while the other pretended to lie still like, "We didn't do anything." But his tail kept wagging like a ceiling fan. Seeing the owner holding a hoe, both of them jumped up, thinking they were playing a new game. One man tried to follow the shadow of the hoe, jumping back and forth like boxing with his own shadow. The owner had to hoe while dodging the sudden attacks as if he was gardening with 2 flying dolphins. At the end, when the sun started to cool down, the 2 children simultaneously lay down in the middle of the grass, breathing heavily as if they had just run a marathon. But looking at their faces, they were still excited.